Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Guess what? The Monday after the derby is almost done, and we are still alive and smiling as Manchester United supporters. We stay strong even during the hardest times. Guess what? They have trolled us the whole day today. We've seen the memes all over Twitter. Every social media platform has been trending because of Manchester United. That's who we are. We make news, but we are still alive. So forget about all that. Let's look forward to what's coming. We've got a game in the Carabao Cup, a title that we are looking to defend. So we've got Newcastle. They've got a grudge because we beat them in the final. They are coming home. So let's focus on those. But also, let's focus on the youngsters. It is high time Erik Ten Hag focused on the youngsters because they will save his job. Yes, they will. Now, speaking of youngsters, there is a huge one. That boy, AMAD Diallo, the young forward, the winger, midfielder, call him what you want, the attacker has dropped a return hint. And this is exciting. He went on his Instagram to post, himself saying back shortly. He's back training on grass. Man United has confirmed as well that he's back training on grass. Now, usually when footballers sustain injuries like the one he got in that preseason game against, it was against Arsenal that he got injured. Usually you take long to return to grass. It takes long. So when he does return to grass, it's now almost done. He's nearly back. So the young boy is back. Remember, Manchester United has got several exciting youngsters. I'm telling you that I feel Erik Ten Hag is failing to use, and Amad Diallo is one of them. In fact, there are people who feel that Diallo could actually be a better option for us than even Facundo Pellistri. Well, I don't like comparing youngsters. They're all about potential. They're all learning. Everyone is good in their own way. But just to tell you that this boy scored 14 goals for Sunderland last season in all competitions and assisted 4 times. Yes, in 43 games for Sunderland where he was on loan. We bought him in 2021 from Atalanta for quite a lot of money, by the way, back then, and showed you how much trust we had in him. He was so young. He's only 21. So Diallo returning, people have been asking about him, how whether he will return. I think he's soon going to be returning in a few days, probably, which should be a good thing for Erik Ten Hag because if he's going to save his job for me, Erik Ten Hag has got to look at the young players. The greatest managers always focus on the young players. Look at Sir Alex Ferguson. He brought the class of '92. These were babies. David Beckham, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Ryan Giggs, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Paul Scholes. Name them. They were kids, and these are the kids who won the treble, who won Manchester United the treble in 1999. The class of '92. They were kids. You do not win titles, by putting together a team of players without heart, without a culture, without direction. It doesn't just you don't just fumble into greatness. You've got to build it, and I think Erik Ten Hag has got now. And by the way, he's a good. I think he's good with young players anyway. I feel like that's the department he was good at when we saw him at Ajax because he was dealing mostly with young players, with the Onanas when they were younger, with all these players, Anthony. So he was dealing with kids and he excelled there at Ajax. Same thing with Utrecht, with the Amrabats of this world. So he should now as well realize that some of these players is clinging on to aging, but he has got good, exciting youngsters to look to because they will be hungry, they will fight for him, they will play for him. That is what you get from young players. You watch United games today, honestly, and you're thinking, are these people playing for anyone or anything? They're not. They are not. There is no heart. There is no heart. I think the only player who sort of showed us heart was Scott McTominay when he came off the bench and scored the 2 goals. And perhaps because of the feeling of just scoring the but there is no heart. But the youngsters will have the heart, and that's what you need to win derbies. You need the heart. You understand how bad it is to lose against Manchester City. But Erik Ten Hag is focused on Rashford, focused on Bruno, and he's failing to give an opportunity to these young players. Anthony is blocking Pellistri. The boy was picking rhythm when Anthony returned. He's forgotten about. He's not playing, yet he was beginning to go. So these young players are the ones who could save Manchester United. Look to the future. But guys, we've got one coming on Wednesday, so there's some early team news. Casemiro has been training. He was not in the squad in the last one. good for him because I don't think he would have loved to be a part of the embarrassment. But he's training, so we are likely to have him for that grudge match against Newcastle. Remember, we beat Newcastle by 2 goals to nothing in the final of the same cup we are looking to defend. And Casemiro is one of the two scorers, him and Rashford. So there's a bit of, again, a grudge. That's I think, sort of motivation if he's returning for this one. And this is not a game we can afford to lose. Erik Ten Hag can afford to do anything. He can afford to tinker with his team the way he wants, but he cannot afford to lose against Newcastle at Old Trafford. It cannot happen because, man, this club, we don't just lose at Old Trafford like that. We don't lose at Old Trafford for fun. We don't do that. So there's a lot. It's a pressure game. It's definitely a pressure game. So there's that bit of news. Sergio Reguilon was fit, and Hag just chose not to play him in that game. So he will be available. Rafael Varane returned as well, fit. Just coach not choosing to play him. So we are okay. We are, I think, fairly okay. Kobe Maino was also in the squad, and I think actually Kobe Maino is likely to play against Newcastle. I think he should be starting. It's the smart thing to do. I'll tell you guys, when Kobe Maino comes of age, and he's soon going to come of age, you will see why he is the one player who could turn around things for Manchester United, because his role is a fulcrum. For me, when I look at Kobe Maino, he reminds me of a Claude Makelele. Imagine, in terms of his physique and all, but everything about him just reminds me of Claude Makelele, the former Chelsea and Real Madrid guy. He defined, actually up to now, people call it, in modern day football, they call that number 6 position, that traditional number 6 position, the Makelele position. Now, Kobe Maino plays for me a bit like that, a bit like Clarence Seedorf, maybe a young Clarence Seedorf, maybe who need to get more silky, but he's only 18. Maybe he can learn those things as he's a neat player. He's clean and decent. You love to see him. This boy, if he comes and plays that pivot so well, trust you me, everyone around him will become good. More so if it's the young players, the likes of Mason Greenwood around him, of course, Rasmus Højlund on the top. These players are in the same age. The likes of Pelistri, Diallo. These are the kids we should be looking at as Manchester United if we are going to go on and compete consistently for titles. So Erik Ten Hag, the only advice I've got for you right now, people are a bit silent. They are divided. But if you don't look to these young players who are hungry and look to these guys on big wages, I think you might be in trouble, brother. You might be in trouble. We love you, but you will make it difficult for us to support you if you don't do certain, basics right. Focus on the kids. What do these big stars do? Do they score? They don't. Do they win you games? They don't. So yeah, that's it. So guys, today uh, is a special day in football. And this is not just about Manchester United. It's about football. If you love football, you love Diego Armando Maradona, and rest in peace. This was his 60th birthday. So yeah, it's a special day in football because modern day football calls him the god of football. Well, that's too much to call him that, but he's the only one who scored the hand of God. So really, in football terms, he's a god of sorts. So happy birthday, Diego Armando Maradona. My name is Webb Hotspot. Subscribe, guys. Catch you later. Let's now go and prepare for Inside Sport on NBS Sport. Bye bye.